Afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Advantage Institute Australia's online lecture. I'm the host Joyce from Huashan College. Today, we are grateful to have Mr. Richard Simons from EIA to share some useful information about study skills. And now let's welcome Richard.
Okay, let's get into it. So I'm going to share the screen with everyone. And as I work through this, I don't know how long it will take. I'm hoping it will stretch out for an hour. But it depends on how many people communicate with me during this time. I'm hoping that I'll get a few people responding. But anyway, we'll see how we go. But do ask any question at any time. Don't be afraid to speak up. Everyone see that?
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we'll be looking at some introductions. I think the request was let's talk about how to introduce ourselves. It seems like a very basic topic, but there is actually a lot to consider when we're talking to foreigners and introducing ourselves. Anyway, time management is another key thing, and number 3, critical thinking. There are quite a number of different study skills to look at, but I'm afraid it will be maybe a little bit boring if we go into each one in detail. Okay, moving on. So this picture here of a person writing their book on a wave, can anyone tell me what it represents? Does anyone have any ideas? This is the part where everyone who is silent at the moment should actually speak up and say an idea. I'll give some ideas, but if anyone could throw in some ideas, that would be good. I'll give the first one. So you can enjoy learning. Who says yes to that? Do we have any thumbs up for that? Okay, so let's, yep. All right, so you can enjoy learning. And number 2, I've got, oh, there we go. You need to seize opportunities. Who says that? That this picture represents you need to seize opportunities. Does anyone have a thumbs up for that? You can say no, it's quite okay. I've got a few yeses there. That's all right. Okay, what about this one? Oh, you need a good book to be successful.
Yes.
iPhone says yes.
Yeah.
Really? Okay, no worries. Anyone else? Only iPhone.
And a good teacher, I guess.
Need a good teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Teachers make a big difference. What about number 4 here? You need to be an independent learner.
I agree.
Really?
Yes, sometimes you need to
It
be
means independent means you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
You need to do some research, kind of.
DIY, do it yourself. Who says yes for this one? Kathy says yes.
Me say yes.
Alrighty.
iPhone. Yeah.
Me says, yeah, iPhone says yes.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Come on, we've got 61 people here and we've only got 2 people responding. Do we have any more? What about Eric? Come on, Eric.
Eric, say something.
Eric's going to get something to eat. Okay, no worries.
Hello, I'm Eric.
Hey, Eric, what do you think? Do you need to be an independent learner?
I'm sorry because I'm late to come in, so I don't know. Say something, okay?
No, that's okay. Let me just explain. I've shown this picture, and it's just this young lady writing her book on the wave, and I've asked, what does this picture represent? And I've given some ideas here. I'm up to number 4, and I've just asked, does it mean you need to be an independent learner? And I've got a few yeses. Kathy and iPhone said yes. And I'm asking Eric now, what does Eric think? Okay, thanks, Eric. Thanks for sharing. All right, number 5. You need to wait for the right opportunity. Who says yes for that?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Okay, Kathy. All right, maybe not. I'll take that. Anyone else?
Maybe be more prepared for it and wait for the opportunity and get a successful.
Could be. What about you, Ruby? Did you wait for the right opportunity for you to start studying, or did you just get in there and do it?
Yeah, and now I'm learning a double degree is my right opportunity for me.
Oh,
So I wait for it.
blow us out of the water. Double degree. Goodness me.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful, isn't it? Okay, so moving on. I think if we wait for the right opportunity, sometimes our thinking of, well, what is right, how we feel at the time, sometimes opportunities miss us, and sometimes opportunities are disguised. So even if we start something, something opens up inside that opportunity as well. Alrighty, moving on. Let's get cracking with this. Here we go. Now, as I mentioned before, my eyes are not so fantastic, and even though this looks quite large, I actually can't see it. Can anyone help me out? How about iPhone? You've got a great voice.
You want me read it?
Yeah, why not?
Most university teachers in Australian and in another Western cultures expect students to be independent learners.
Very good. Thank you. You should be on radio. All right. So, yeah, keep that in mind that teachers in Australia and universities in Western cultures, they expect you to do it yourself, which is a scary thought, because when you get to university, somehow some students think that they are going to have someone hold their hand, and there's always going to be someone there, like a study buddy or a teacher, telling you what to do and how to do it and whatever else. And most of the time that doesn't happen, and you have to motivate yourself and learn as much as you can on your own, and even just seek out learning opportunities and ask questions. Who's afraid of asking questions to a foreign teacher? Anyone here?
Me.
Yeah. Is that in class or outside of class that you're afraid?
Outside the class.
Aha. Why is that? Do you feel that you might look stupid?
Yes, and I think I don't familiar with my teachers, and maybe outside the class we are the strangers.
Well, actually, if you were to study in Australia, I can't speak for America or the UK or whatnot, because I haven't studied there, and I don't know any teachers there. But in Australia, the teachers tend to treat you the same in the class and outside of the classroom, which is interesting. And they also call you by your first name. So it's no longer number 253, can you come up to the front of the class and give a response? It's more like, Joyce, can you give an answer to that? Or what do you think? Eric, can you give an idea? Ruby, could you share your opinion about this? So the teachers will use your first name to make you feel comfortable in the class. But also they will, depending on how familiar they are with you, they'll be extremely approachable outside of the classroom as well. So I think the key issue is that confidence that you have within yourself. My advice for any student is to ask questions in class, because it's a comfortable learning environment. It's a place where you have support, and then you can build up that confidence to speak to the teacher outside of the classroom.
Yeah.
And also not just the teacher, but other students outside of the classroom as well.
Yeah.
And another key issue here in Australia is that a lot of a lot of students, especially from China, they tend to stay within their groups, their Chinese friends, and they communicate in, well, obviously the mother tongue. And because you're in the group, you know, you're talking with each other about assignments and what you're going to do on the weekend. And then it becomes really difficult making connections with the locals, the Australians, or those who have been here for such a long time that they seem like Australian, but they're from different countries. But even still, it makes it very difficult. So my advice is when you do get to your destination, wherever you're going, whether you're going to Australia or I don't know, if you choose to go somewhere else, your choice, to communicate as much as possible outside of in the classroom, but also outside of the classroom with not just other Chinese, but as much as with other nationalities and in English, so that you can develop that confidence as much as possible. Okay, moving on. So what is an independent learner? Can anyone give me some ideas of characteristics that would make an
Hello,
independent
Richard.
learner?
Can you hear me?
Amara, yes, bingo. Loud and clear.
Okay, so good evening, maybe.
Yes, it is evening. Absolutely. And it is very good too. Thank you.
Well, so I like to give a description about the independent learner.
I'll go for it. Yeah.
So as for the independent learner, that must be someone who learn their own knowledge without by their own. Firstly, this must be very important that people learn their own knowledge by just by themselves, that without any others leading them or pushing them to learn something. Right?
Yeah,
Am
yeah.
I right?
Yep. You're right on track.
So,
That's for sure. Absolutely. Yes.
yeah.
There's a lot of confidence involved in being an independent learner and a little bit more strategy involved as well. I've got a few key words that I popped in here. Let me have a quick look. There we go. Communicate. That's a key one. Who do we need to communicate with? Obviously the teachers and the other students in the class. Communicate with the people in the library, because library people always help us with, you know, not just researching about our assignments and stuff, but they give help regarding academic skills, you know, how do we reference correctly, or, you know, whatever, how to write an essay. There's workshops on those types of things as well. So you need to be able to communicate. You don't have to be an effective communicator, but at least be able to communicate what you want and be able to receive what you expect as well. So anyway, that's one of them. Let's move on. Ask question, bingo. We're talking about that before. It's surprising how many students don't ask questions, even when the teacher says, hey, does anyone have any questions? No? Oh, okay. And then after the class, there's 100 students coming up saying, oh, I've got a question. I've got a question. It always happens. But the problem is that some students who feel not confident in talking to the teacher in class because they don't want to sound stupid in front of their friends or people that they don't know, they'll just ask their friends, oh, what do we have to do? And they're relying on their friends. You know, sometimes their friends may not even listen to what they have to do, and they just guess. And if you have to rely on your friends, then it's no good. Try and ask questions to your teacher as much as possible. Yeah. We call that getting it from the horse's mouth.
Yeah.
Directly from the source. Okay. Oh, yeah, there we go. Think for yourself. Amara, that's one on your list, thinking for yourself. And the teacher will ask you, hey, what do you think about this? Usually in universities in Australia, in the classroom, sometimes the teacher will ask you individually what a question, but most of the time they'll just ask the class in general, and it's up to the any student to respond, to give, to share their ideas about the question or whatever it may be. So,
Well,
yep.
the question is to think whether I'm an independent learner or not.
Not at the moment, no, but I'm just going through the characteristics of what makes an independent learner. And
Characteristic.
yeah, just the
Wow.
different characteristics and thinking for yourself, and a lot of the teaching materials that have been made and your courses are designed specifically to make you think for yourself.
Yeah.
And then not only thinking for yourself, but getting others involved as well. All right, moving on. I did click a button there. I'm not sure if, oh, there we go. Solve problems is another key one. So I think a lot of teachers like us to try and work it out for ourselves before we ask, hey, how do we do this, and what do we do here? If we ever get a problem, so that they can at least see that we're thinking for ourselves and trying it ourselves, doing as much as possible for ourselves. And the key word today is ourselves. All right, make decisions by yourself. But it's having the confidence to know what is a good decision. And I think I've got there somewhere, if you can see it, analyzing the factors, I think they came up before. Being able to analyze those different factors in order to make those good decisions. Managing your time, that's something we'll talk about today. There's obviously a number of different strategies to use, and everyone's sort of concerned about how do I get all of my assignments done in on time. And the last thing I have here is taking responsibility of your own learning. Now, part of that is understanding how well you learn, or I know that a lot of the students that I teach, they're Chinese students at a university, and they're visual learners. They don't particularly like me sitting there and talking for hours about something, but putting things with pictures and talking about and relating those two things together really helps to cement the ideas. So knowing what the best way that you learn and being able to receive information in that way, then you're going to make sure that you're learning the most in the best way possible, which is part of taking responsibility of your own learning. Okay, before we move on, are there any questions? No. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, you're talking about this was like communicate or solve the problem. This is all for the study skills. That's right.
The topic here is study skills in general, and I'm talking about what
dependent.
Yes, I'm talking about what characteristics make an independent learner.
Thank you. I know.
Okay. All right. So there we go. Now, I've got some content here I'm just going to put in, but we're talking about communicating, and I'm getting into the introductions part. And I want you to have a look at this picture here. Two guys having a chat. Obviously, they're pretty happy. One of them is a student and the other is a teacher. Could you tell me which one is the teacher?
Right one.
Oh, okay. The guy with the shirt?
Yeah, the guy with the shirt, I think.
Okay. Is that okay for the teacher to have his hand on the student's shoulder?
Yes.
That's right.
It's okay.
Maybe the
Okay,
same sex.
okay.
Eric's got
Well,
something to
it
say.
depends. I think so. I think it depends. If a male teacher having the shoulder on the female student, I don't think that's appropriate. While the other situation, I think is better.
Okay,
it's
so
true.
male and male is okay. Is that right? Let's ask Eric. Okay, so Eric, I'm the teacher. And let's say this is the first time we meet. This is Eric and myself sitting here. I've obviously I have hair in this picture, and I've got brown hair. Thank you. Looking pretty good too. So Eric, how do you feel if I put my hand on your shoulder? This is the first time we meet.
Oh.
Eric?
Yeah, I'm here. I think the first time if you put your hand on my shoulder, I will be amazing because we don't have a very good re, re, with relationship. Yeah.
Okay, so it's a new relationship, and there's this distance that we should keep. Do you think it would feel a bit weird, a little bit strange?
Yeah. Very strange.
All right. Now, I'm not sure if this picture is actually a teacher and a student. I just created that idea. Maybe it could be two best friends. I'm not sure.
Friend.
Yeah, maybe like a brother.
Yeah, two brothers. That sounds better, doesn't it? Yes, two brothers at the cafeteria. Yeah, okay. All right, so when we are introducing ourselves, the key focus here is what do we consider when we introduce ourselves? I've got a few things here. So the first one is, who are you talking to? So my question is, okay, so if the person with the brown hair is introducing himself to Blondie, for example, is he a teacher introducing himself to a student, or is it the other way around? The student introducing himself to a teacher, or is it a student and a student? So I think the key question is when you're introducing yourself to someone, it makes a big difference about who you're talking to, because it changes your language, your approach, your body language, the distance that you have between you and the other person. Let's throw a question out there to the crowd. Let me just check my list, shall we? Hang on. One moment, I'm going through the list now. I saw someone's name, Amy. Thank you for putting your English name in there, Amy. I'm going to ask you a question. If I was coming to China and Amy is our director of studies, right? A very big position in the college, director of studies, and I'm introducing myself to Amy. How should I do that? Would that be okay with a handshake? Should I initiate that handshake first, or do I wait for you and follow your lead? Or do I just bow and say, oh, nice to meet you, Amy? Or should I say director? Director Amy, how does that go in China? Amy, could you respond? I did see Amy there. It's her number is 419160323.
Maybe I can be your student for this question.
Okay, Kathy, jump in. All good.
I think a bow would be good. If you want like maybe more showing more like friendly, maybe pat the shoulder. I think it's all right for me.
Okay, so forget about the picture there. Just imagine I've come to the college and I'm addressing you, and you are the director of studies. How do I do that? Can I just give you a high five? Hey, Kathy, good to see you. Would that be okay?
Would be okay, but that's a more casual way. Maybe shake hands or yeah, shaking hands will be quite common.
Okay, so there's no high fives?
You are very familiar with someone, you can get you can high five with them. Yeah, but when you first time seeing someone, maybe not, I guess.
Okay, all right, so handshake.
And handshake. Okay.
Handshake is safe. All right, no problem, all good. Now, throwing it in there now, should I use formal or informal language?
I think it depends.
Okay, so if I'm talking to the boss of the college,
Formal language.
something like, how do you do?
How are you?
It is a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah.
And can someone give me an example of informal language for an introduction?
Hi. Hi, I think.
Hey, bro.
Hi.
How's going today?
There you go. How's it going? Yeah.
How's going?
All right. Sounds good. What about this one here? What level of formality and informality is acceptable? Now, this is a little bit different from the previous one because we know what is formal and informal, and then there's levels of formality and informality as well, or casual language. So how casual can we go? So you said hi, but could we shorten that? Hey, hooray. Or not even say anything, just nod. Give it a wink and a, maybe that's too casual. How would you feel, iPhone, if someone introduced themselves and gave you that wink and that kind of crazy sound? Would that be okay?
No.
Whoa.
I don't like it if this.
You don't like that?
Yeah. I think they maybe they have another meaning, you know.
Really? Yeah. You think that it's not a good meaning?
Kind of the people, if you do that, is have another meaning.
It could, maybe, yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. The body language could be different, could have a different meaning, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty, so the level of formality, we could, you know, we could say something extremely polite. So, for example, you know, the common formula that I like to use is the longer you go, the more polite it is. So, Kathy, it's such a great honor to meet you today. I feel extremely privileged and overwhelmed and joyed, and thank you very much. I really appreciate the time, and I have great respect for you. Maybe that's too much. So the common the common idea is the longer you go with your expressions and whatnot that you're using, the more polite it's going to be, and the shorter it is, the more casual you are. Like, hello, hi, hey, eh. All right, moving on. Oh, sorry, let me just jump in there. So what body language is appropriate? Now, we did look at that picture before and the hand on the shoulder, and some of you said, that's not good. What about facial expressions? These are the things to consider. And people's responses when you're introducing yourself, you're watching their facial, well, hopefully you're using eye contact when, you know, you need to look at them directly in the eyes so that you can show you're being honest and truthful and not up to any odd business. But well, that's the idea, that you keep direct eye contact when you're talking with someone, so they can see the honesty in your face. Usually, if someone looks away, they're not being truthful with you. So eye contact is extremely important, but also having a positive facial expression. I can't imagine introducing myself or other people and having a fierce look on my face. Hey, Joyce, this is Kathy. You know, I can't imagine that would create such a, you know, a positive experience for Kathy or Joyce if I introduced either one of them with a severe angry look on my face. So facial expressions are extremely important because of responding, oh, hi, it's great to meet you, and have that positive face as well. Body language is also, you know, what are you doing with your hands? May I ask, who talks with their hands? I know that I do, because you see my hand waving around quite a bit, but does anyone here talk with their hands? Or am I the only one? Do we have anyone who's game enough to say, hey, I talk with my hands too?
No, I don't.
So you can't join the Wave Your Hands Club. Anyone else? Come on. Anyone who talks with their hands? Obviously Joyce doesn't, but come on, do we have anyone else who can join my team? The hand gesture team, come on. Myra says she does.
Yes.
Is that Myra?
Yes, Myra.
Myra. Okay. Well, good on you. Thank you very much. There might be only 2 of us in our team, but you know, we are a strong force. Now, it's quite okay to talk with your hands. Oh, great. Colombia. Fantastic. Colombian people are very expressive, and using the hands are just all part of it. That's right. So, yeah, using your hands is a good thing. In fact, this is a great lesson for everyone else who doesn't use their hands when they're talking. It shows confidence. I know that it's abnormal when you're usually speaking your language, because you don't normally speak with your hands. But in a Western environment, if you're talking with a foreigner, using your hands actually shows a lot of confidence. And if you can actually match what you're saying or trying to say with your gestures, it helps the communication a lot better.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as long as you don't get too basic, because some of those gestures could be a little bit, what's the word for it? I'm trying to think. The word will come to me, but it's like when, you know, you're describing something. Oh, you know, yesterday I went and played golf, and then I did some cooking, and then I wrote an email. And as long as you're not doing those basic gestures that everyone understands what they are, because it really means that you're using body language that a kindergarten student would understand, and that makes people feel a bit odd that you're using body language that, you know, their baby understands. So try and match your body language to the person you're talking to. It really helps. Okay, moving on. There we go. So when we're introducing ourselves, we have to set ourselves some goals, and I'm just going to fly through this. How will you achieve your intended purpose? Well, you approach someone and you've got to think about, well, okay, what do I want to achieve? How am I going to introduce myself? Or it doesn't even have to be introductions. It could be just a dialogue with someone. You need to ask for something. How are you going to achieve that? What language are you going to use? How will you react and respond to questions? Will you roll your eyes as a response? Will you say nothing? Just nod your head. Nope.
No.
I don't understand anything you're saying, but I'm nodding my head anyway, and I'm pretending I understand. Because I think this looks intelligent. How will you initiate small talk? Should we put that to the test now? Starting small talk. Who would love to have a conversation with Richard to start small talk? Do we have any hands up?
Yeah.
Alrighty, iPhone, let's go. We're standing in the elevator and we're going up to the 19th floor. It's a very slow elevator. And I'm just standing there minding my own business, and iPhone is going to start a conversation with me. Are you ready?
You are staying the 19.
Sorry?
Pardon? I beg your pardon?
We're going up in an elevator.
I understand.
And it's the 19th floor that we're going to.
I understand.
It's very slow.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, you ready? Take one.
I'm ready. How are you? How are you going?
Oh, hi.
Hi,
How
nice
are
to
you?
meet you again. Yeah?
Oh,
Where you want to go? Which floor?
I'm going to the 19th floor.
Oh my God, me too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're going to see the dentist as well?
Yeah. I have
Oh,
appointment.
Oh, very
And
good.
which dentist you will see today?
Sorry?
Which dentist you will see today?
Oh, I'm going to see Dr. Kathy.
Oh, I'm going to see Dr. Tony.
Really?
Oh, it's amazing. I can't believe it.
Have you been here before?
Yeah, I've been there one time before. That's the second time. I need to check my teeth.
Oh, very good. Well, this is my first time, so I hope it all goes well.
Yeah, I hope you will well. All the best.
Thanks. All right, there you go. iPhone. Good job. Oh. Now, this is the first time that iPhone and I actually meet. Can anyone give any tips about iPhone's approach at the beginning? She said, "Hi, how are you?" And this is the first time to meet. Is that okay?
Yes, normally we start with a greeting.
So Kathy says yes. Do you think iPhone sounded a little bit too friendly?
Yeah, I think. I forget to say your name. Hi.
No, because it's okay, because that's the first time, we meet, so that's okay. Yeah, and it's in an elevator. And you're a woman.
Yeah. I think I may be too friendly because it's a small talk. Yes.
But it's okay. That's all right. Now, any kind of small talk opens up with a topic, and then there are questions that follow, just very easy questions. And the idea is to ask open questions, open-ended questions, like anything that doesn't require a yes or no answer, basically. Getting someone to explain something without being too invasive, but that's the idea behind it, about asking questions, open-ended questions. Okay, moving on. So considering, how will you keep the conversation going? Now, we can only talk about the dentist for such a long time that, you know, it'll get boring after a while. So how are we going to keep that conversation going? Does anyone have any ideas? We've spoken about which dentist we're going to go see. iPhone knows it's my first time there. I know that she's been there before. Does anyone have any ideas of how to keep the conversation going?
Maybe find the common thing,
Oh, okay. What, like what?
like we have the same dentist, or we have the same problem with the teeth or something.
Okay, yeah. So finding something common and then expanding on that topic. That's a good idea.
I got an idea now.
Yeah.
Idea. We can talking about the pandemic, COVID-19.
Yes. Yes.
So, lockdown. For example, now in Melbourne, we are on the 6th lockdown. So we can talk about these things.
We could, yeah. That would be.
Also, normally we talk outside for alternate people. We talk about the lockdown, COVID-19, these things.
Okay. And then what if we, you know, talk about COVID-19 for a long time and it gets really boring? How do we change that topic to something else?
Maybe there's some we are interested in it, the topic, like the brands or some news during these days. Yeah.
Sorry?
The brands or some news or like famous pop stars. So there's like, we are interested in, we will keep talking.
Okay, so you have to, it would sound quite odd if you change the subject to something completely different. So you need to relate it to, it's like an essay, you need to relate the previous paragraph to the next one. So, oh, by the way, you know, did you hear that some famous dude caught COVID-19 and is terribly ill? Isn't that terrible? And then continue on.
Yeah.
With that.
We can talk about the Delta.
Yeah.
Delta. Yeah, yes, okay. It's really terrible.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, and talk about these things, you know. Yeah.
Yep, could talk about that, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
For everybody is very important.
But I think the key thing about small talk is to try and make it smooth, a smooth transition from one topic to the next, and relating the previous topic to something that is connected to what you want to talk about next as well. Alrighty, we've got lots of question marks there. See that person with all the question marks? I'm going to ask you a question later. All right, moving on. So we're talking about that. How will you change the subject, and how will you end the conversation? This is a good one. So let's imagine that Eric is having a conversation with Amara, and Eric is talking. We have an expression called 9 to a dozen. It's an idiom, and it means that he's just talking like a motor. He can't stop. And Amara has to get away because obviously she wants to, or she has an appointment somewhere. Amara, how would you end the conversation? Would you just say, hey, sorry, man. Sorry, Eric. I've got to go. Time is ticking. I'm out of here.
Yeah, maybe, oh, that's great that I meet you. So see you next time. I have to go. Bye. Enough. Bye.
There you go. There you go. Does anyone else have any?
It's very nice to talk to you. See you soon. See you next time.
Okay. It seems like a bit of an axe, you know, like, I'm going to just cut halfway through what you're saying, Eric. Bad luck. But what you've said is very important as well. So it's about waiting for a space. Maybe Eric might stop for a breath, like quickly, and then you can jump in and quickly say that, iPhone. What do you think?
You call me?
Yeah, I'm saying that
Oh.
what you've said is okay, but you have to be kind about your timing.
Yeah,
So
of course.
if Eric pauses, then you can quickly jump in and say what you've just said then, and that would be okay. But if Eric doesn't pause, and maybe he's like a fish and he just, keeps talking and breathes at the same time, then you will have trouble.
Oh, you will say, oh, sorry, I think I have to leave you now. It's very nice to talk to you, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.
There you go. So you've interrupted and you've used some extra, and to get control of the conversation. That's the way to do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now I notice on YouTube, I'm not sure if anyone watches YouTube here, but there are quite a few video bloggers on YouTube, and some of the younger people, if you watch them talking, some of them don't breathe. I can just, they start and they just don't seem to breathe or pause after they've said something. They just keep blah, 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 blah. And for me, I like pieces of information that I can process and digest, and then continue on with the next. But some of these younger people tend to just talk and don't stop, and that's why I mentioned the gills. Eric just talking and breathing at the same time. I'm not sure if that's the case for you, Eric, but when you are having a conversation, make sure that you are pausing and giving the other person an opportunity to ask a question, or just to respond with a natural response, like, oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Something for them to contribute to the conversation. If they're not given a chance, then they're going to get very bored very quickly. Okay, moving on. The last one here is, how will you reconnect with the person? See you later is a common one. Oh, I'll see you next week sometime. Oh, I'll see you at the next appointment. Yes. Something like that. Ruby, do you have any examples?
Yes. Sorry, I'm not sure that you talked about.
Ruby's watching TV at the same time, everyone.
No, I just got drink water.
I'm talking about reconnecting with the person. You've just, you've been talking and you've said, oh, well, I've got to go now. I'm sorry, time is flying. I've really got to go home and, get the washing in off the line or something, do my hair. Obviously, I don't have to, but others might. And you need to, maybe you want to reconnect with a person. So a common expression is, oh, I'll see you later, see you tomorrow, catch up with you sometime.
Yeah, we'll get in touch. Yeah.
Good to have lunch sometime this week.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just like the birthday or some holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah. To come or he or she could earn or get an award. Yeah, to calculate.
So I guess
and congratulate them. Yeah.
I guess the the invitation to reconnect, if it's closer in time, obviously you want to see that person soon. But obviously, if you set a date that is far off into the distance, I'll see you sometime next year. Oh, I'll see you in another 10 years. That'd be great. Yeah. Then obviously you know, you hope not to see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so depending, it really depends on who you're talking to and whether you want to send that message to them, that they've made an impact, they're a friend, they're a connection, and you want to keep it, you know, a closer relationship, or you want to see them in 100 years and you want them to know that too. So
Yeah,
communicating
sure.
that is important. Okay, moving on.
Ah.
Other factors to consider. Are there any others? Goodness me. All right, moving on. Rapport building techniques. It sounds like report, doesn't it? Report. Does anyone know what rapport is?
REPPORT.
That's it. RE.
Report.
Rapport.
I think this is the wrong words. Rapport.
No, no, rapport. It's, you don't pronounce the T, it's rapport.
Oh.
Rapport.
Report.
Does anyone know?
Report. REPORT.
Yeah, no, that's
Not
report that you do at school, but this is rapport.
Someone have the close relationship?
Yeah.
Just something like intimate?
Sorry?
REPPORT.
Is that mean someone who have a close relationship or just call intimate or intimate?
Intimate.
Okay.
No, it actually.
It's okay.
Actually, no.
Or does it harm me?
When we started this workshop, for example, I actually don't know anyone here except for Tian, and just the small talking and the jokes and the things like that I started with, that's me building rapport with the rest of the students here. You know, hey everyone, good to see you, and you know, making some comments or making some jokes. I'm building the rapport. I'm building a warm connection between you and me, so that you feel comfortable in talking to me.
Report, yeah.
Some
right.
people call this as breaking the ice. Breaking the ice. Building the rapport is building that warm connection. Usually when you give a presentation, for example, before you start presenting, if you feel nervous, it's a good idea to stand out there and start talking with some people to build that connection, or even just at the beginning when you're introducing, oh, hi, you know, and you're telling a joke, or just taking that cold edge of how you feel before you get started. That's building the rapport so that your audience will respond to you in a positive way. Okay, moving on. Proximity and distance is something to consider when you're not just introducing yourself, but talking with a person as well. And to give you an idea, in a workplace, I met a Canadian, and for some reason, he thought that standing, if you can see me, his face was this close to mine. I don't know if you could see how close that is, but that's his face there. Oh, hi, it's good to see you. And he thought that that was quite okay. And I felt completely awkward. And if he noticed my body language, my head was back here like, oh, okay, really? So it's important to watch people's body language and how they react to you, so you can adjust your position, your proximity, the distance between you and them, so they don't feel uncomfortable. I know that if I'm walking in the classroom and I put my hand on the desk right beside a student, that might make them feel uncomfortable. What do you think? If I put my hand on the desk in front of you, right in front, let's ask someone. Amy, are you with us now? Amy? Amy? No?
Amy said the place she in was too noisy, maybe.
She's gone off down the street to get some food. All right, what about Ellie? Ellie? No? Scarlett Scarlett, there's a good one. Scarlett, are you there, Scarlett?
Yeah, I'm here.
Alrighty, now let's imagine your teacher, Richard, is there in the class with you. You're sitting at your desk, and I come over and I put my hand, this very big hand, by the way, I put it in front of you on the desk. Would that be okay?
Yeah. I will think it is too. I think will make me nervous.
Okay, a little bit uncomfortable and nervous?
It will make me nervous.
Yeah, because you're wondering
or maybe I will think, maybe I make some mistake and the teacher will tell, and teacher will talk to me. So.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
because the teacher is standing close to you, you think that you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's one issue as well, standing really close, but at the same time, putting the teacher's hand very close in front of you, I think that's a bit too close. Great drawing, by the way. Oh, perfect. You know, this is really good. Thank you very much for graffitiing my screen. Thank you very much, everyone. Now, one thing in Australia is that we have very strict laws, and that kind of proximity is a no-go here. We don't touch the students, we keep our distance, and if we do that, we are in serious trouble. So you do have protection as well, and you don't have to be afraid. Now, if anyone feels uncomfortable in the classroom, especially in Australia, you can talk to the administration people or authorities or whatever, and something can be done. You won't get into trouble, but Australia is very, very strict about making sure that students are comfortable in their learning environment, and that something like this doesn't happen. And it doesn't mean between you and the teacher, it also means between you and other students as well. If you feel uncomfortable, then you do have people out there who are happy to protect you. And there are laws as well to ensure that you are protected. All right, moving on. Thank you, Scarlett. Appreciate that. Cultural awareness and sensitivity. Something that you need to be aware of. I know that this is definitely a hot topic at the moment, considering the relationship issues between Australia and China. I'm not going to talk about that in detail. I don't agree. At least I can say I don't agree with what people have said, and I certainly feel that that some people have said way too much, and they should just. But who am I? I'm just a teacher. But cultural sensitivity is a key thing, and I'm saying it's key. It's very important to know something about the person you're talking to, what country they're from, or what is appropriate and what is not. And it could be the language that you say, but also your body language, the proximity, as I mentioned before. Colombians are very expressive people. They like to hug. Do you still kiss on either side, or is that Venezuela?
It depends. Sometimes it really depends. Sometimes because of friends, you are maybe close friend and you will kids do double kiss, but the most common is just one kiss.
Okay, well,
maybe between girlfriends, between girls, maybe you will do the double kiss, but it's really not common. I think that is more common like in Europe. I'm not sure if Italians or French people.
Okay. When I was teaching in Melbourne, I had a Venezuelan student, and I obviously had been teaching her for some time. And one night she said she was saying goodbye, and she kissed me on either side. And I thought, whoa, hey, you can't do that. So I think it's important that if you have these strong cultural traditions, is to be very aware of what you do naturally and just make sure that that's quite okay. I had to tell her that that's not a good thing, especially for a teacher, but it could between students, if you're if the other person is not familiar with what you do traditionally or what comes naturally, they might feel a little bit awkward as well. I'm not focusing on Colombians only, but any nationality, there might be something that that the other person may not be aware of, and just need to be, focused in on how they might feel about that. Okay, moving on. Common idioms. Now, this is a big thing in Australia because a lot of Australians and teachers as well, if they haven't taught international students, I'm talking from the teacher's perspective, if they haven't taught international students, they're more likely to say phrasal verbs and idioms just naturally and not even think about what they've said, and that the people they're talking to may not understand that expression and the full picture of what it really means. And it's really, you can't tell a teacher how to communicate as a student because they'll get angry with you, but I think it's more important that you ask questions. If someone says an idiom, and it's not just a teacher, but anyone out there, if they say an expression that you don't understand, it's very important that you find a time to stop and then ask them, hey, what do you mean by this? And if you do express an idiom or a phrasal verb or something that has meaning in your country to another person, you need to be aware that they may not understand what you've just said, and you have to watch their body language. Most people have the same kind of response in their body language, and that is that strange puppy dog look, like, huh? What? Yeah, so just watch that body language. Now, I realize we've gone completely over time, and I certainly can talk for another hour if everyone is happy to stay. I just want to check with the bosses before we continue. Is that okay?
Okay.
Is everyone happy for me to continue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Tian, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Is it okay for me to continue?
Sure, of course.
Okay, all right. So if anyone needs to leave and you get bored, you're welcome to go at any time, but I'm going to continue on. I do have quite a few things to get through, so let's just go on, shall we? I talk too much, so here we go. Moving on. So timing appropriateness is another key thing we need to consider. If the person is rushing out the door and you want to start a conversation with them, obviously that's not a good time. Or like we said before, the person is trying to finish the conversation, and then you can try to continue it with another topic and another one and another one. I know that some family members that I have, if you're on the phone, it's like, oh yeah, okay, all right, okay, well, it's been great to, oh really, oh okay, God. There goes another hour. Yeah, okay, no worries. All right, so I'll see you. Oh really, oh, so you've got another problem, okay. And you can't get off the phone. So I think it's important to listen to the other person if they do want to get away and they give you that indication that, it's time to finish the conversation. The best thing you can do is say, oh, okay, no worries, that's all good. Yep, that's it. All right, moving on. Voice, tone, and emphasis. Hi, everyone. It's really good to see you today. I'm really excited that you're here. It's really just a very exciting, wonderful opportunity. Imagine if your teachers spoke like that. I don't know, maybe they do, but I would get bored very quickly. I'd probably fall asleep. But that's one thing to consider is your tone of voice. If you are an expressive person, are you too expressive for the person you're talking to? You have to watch how they communicate and try and match your communication style to theirs so they don't feel uncomfortable. That's the making of a great leader, is to make people feel comfortable with you. So the tone of voice is very important, positive, uplifting, and emphasizing key points, of course, making something sound stronger with your voice rather than keeping it monotone will always keep someone interested in what you're saying. As a teacher, that's very important to keep the students animated. As you can see, when I'm talking, a lot of the words that even if they're not important, I'll just boost them up and say, yes, animated words, to make sure that everyone is listening clearly. But if you're using your intonation and you're emphasizing keywords, it makes you a more interesting speaker and people will listen to you more animatedly than not. Okay, moving on. So this is the last point here, giving enough information or too much information. Now, when you are asked questions, let's put this to the test, shall we? Let's just do this and see if anyone gives enough information or maybe not enough. Here we go. I'm going to pick a few people from my list. Let's go down to the bottom of the list, shall we? Ali, are you there? Ali?
Oh, yes. Hi.
Hi, how are you going?
Oh, fine, thanks.
That's good. So could you tell me, what do you study?
I study English.
Why?
Because actually back to my military school, one of my favorite teachers was my English teacher, and she got me into English. So that's why I chose English as my major.
All right, that's a great response, and it's quite detailed because she included other information too, such as her previous teacher, the fact that she liked her other teacher, and her other teacher got her interested in English as well. So there's 3 pieces of information there. Yeah, so that's great. And that gives me an opportunity to ask questions about any one of those 3 pieces of information. Whereas Ali could have responded English, and that's it. Hey, what do you study? English, and said nothing else, which is a conversation killer to respond with one word, but only with one topic, English. Okay, I'll have to ask another question. Okay, so and then I'll ask another question. So if I'm talking to someone who only responds with one word, then I'm the person asking lots of questions and the other person doesn't ask any questions, they just respond. Okay, so let's jump to, thank you, Ali, I appreciate that. Diana, are you there?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Diana? Diana? Hello? Diana, are you there? No? All right, moving on. Going once, twice, Diana? Nope, no sale. Tina, are you there, Tina? Tina, Chinese name 4205. No? Okay, everyone's gone to sleep at the moment. All right, let's keep going down the list. Lucy, number 319-160535. Lucy. No, goodness me, everyone's out for lunch. All right, Alan, how about you? Ellen. Four, 2, 0, 3, 9, 0, 3, 2, 1, ... Alan? No? Hello? Hello? Oh, I have to go to the top of my list. Here we go. Back to Eric. One question for Eric. Hopefully he's listening. Eric.
Yeah, I'm here.
Why did you choose the name Eric? It's an interesting name.
Wow, that's a good question.
I've put you on the spot.
This name is my parent parent idea. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you got your parents' idea. You stole the idea from your parents. Is that right?
No. This name is I think this name is I decide with my parents. Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So it was a brainstorming episode with your parents, and you came up with the name Eric. All right, very good. Thank you. So I've got some pieces of information here. It's not just Eric's thinking, it's his parents as well. At some point in the past, they got together and brainstormed. So they obviously talk and have a good communication with each other. Eric wanted to make sure that the name he chose was okay with his parents. So he considered their thinking. 3 pieces of information, very handy. And that gives me something to go on if I want to ask a follow-up question. Okay, so moving on. Thanks everyone else for contributing. Even just listening is quite okay. Okay, so here we go. Written introductions. When you join a new study unit, usually your teacher will ask you to write a self-introduction and post it online. That's usually what happens. You have your website and it'll have the blog section where it has introductions and you write something about yourself. Now, self-introductions are meant to be brief and you don't need to provide a detailed account of your life. So you don't have to put your whole resume in there. You don't have to talk about your extensive history when you plan to, go on vacation next or something like that. Obviously, no one needs to know that. I have a checklist here. This information. So here we go. So you need to mention your given name if it's different from your official name. Always important, especially if you want people to use your English name. Definitely put that in there. Now, not everyone needs to have an English name, but it just makes it easier for foreign teachers to say your name, because Chinese names can be a little bit tricky, especially the pronunciation. And it's not so much not being able to pronounce, it's more about getting the pronunciation wrong and upsetting the student because the pronunciation is wrong and offending that student. So if it's an English name that it's common and everyone knows it, then it's going to make it a lot better for the teacher, and therefore, okay, a better atmosphere, and the teacher doesn't have to worry about that. Okay, talk about where you're from and where you were born and where you're living now, because that information is interesting to everyone else but you. And share an interesting detail about yourself, what you like to do for fun and what interests you. Such as Eric having close brainstorming activities with his parents. He could include that in his introduction if he wanted to. And if you're taking a class by choice, you can mention the reason why you've decided to take it. as well. So these are all good points. When you're writing something, of course, when you're writing that introduction and you post it online, this is just something to keep note of. You don't need to go into any more detail than this because no one has time to read a book about your life history. And I'm pretty sure that no one would want to as well. But it leaves a little bit of mystery so that you're offering some information. And if anyone wants to ask a question, they've got the chance to do that rather than you just tell them everything about your life. Okay, moving on. So casual face-to-face introductions. I've got an example here and it says, morning. I don't think we've met before. I'm John. And hey, John, how's it going? I'm Peter. Are you a new student? It's a pretty good example. So keep your introductions short and light. That's a good tip. Nice and easy to say, and short so that the other person has time to say something in return. Give the other person time to ask a follow-up question. Don't just keep blah, 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 blah. Oh, yeah. When it comes to greetings, you could say, hey there, morning, or how are you? How are you? How are you? Now, please note that when someone says, how are you, or what's up, in America, what's up seems to be the common one. They're actually just saying hello only. When I first heard what's up, I actually thought that the person was asking a question, what am I doing? What's been happening lately? And I started responding to that question with some details, and the person just walked away. And I asked them, I said, hey, you asked me what's up, what's going on? And they explained, that just means hello. I don't really care about what's happening in your life. So keep a note of that one. I know in Australia, especially at the supermarket, funnily enough, I mentioned this, but at the supermarket, a lot of the registered people, the people doing the checkout, they say, oh, how are you? And you say, oh, hello, and that's it. They don't want to really know how you are. You don't stop and say, oh, I'm okay, but I have this really bad headache, and I started last week, and that's not just the only problem, but I've got actually a bunion on my foot, and every time I step, it actually gives me pain. They don't want to know your life. They just want to say hello, and they say it in an odd way by asking, how are you? And to me, that's what we ask our friends and family because we really care. We really want to know. But in today's society, that's just not the go. I don't understand it, but that's just the way it is. But some people, you may find that when you are living in Australia, I get this because I live in a small country town, small on the scale of Melbourne. It's actually much smaller than Melbourne. It's kind of like a dot on the map, but you get country people there, and they love to talk about their, what's happening in their life, even though you don't really want to know. And you ask the question, oh, how are you? Oh, oh, life's been terrible, and blah, blah, blah. And I just had an operation. They had to take out my stomach and turn it around and all of this and blah, blah, blah. And all the stuff that you don't want to know, and they actually tell you in detail. Oh my God. Yes. So be aware of that when you do travel to the countryside, and you may be staying in a very local place. Some people might actually take you up on that question, how are you, and give you the full details of their life. Be aware of country people.
Oh, I know. Yeah, they like talking.
Yes, they do.
They're very polite, very they are very kind person in the countryside is more polite than Sydney or Melbourne, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll find people a little bit
I
more
find
caring.
I've been to Australian some countryside. They're very, very nice, very polite. They like talking. They tell you many, many things maybe you don't want to know, but they like tell you. Yeah.
That's true.
Very kind of person they are. Yeah, very polite.
As country people.
Yeah. Everybody is really nice. Yeah.
All right, I've got some questions here about this conversation. A is John and B is Peter. So let's just read this and then I'll go through the questions about this this dialogue. So we've got, oh, iPhone, can you be Peter for me and I'll be John? Okay.
You will be John.
I'll be John. So A, so I'm John and John says, morning.
All right.
You're Peter. So morning, I don't think we've met before. I'm John.
Hi, John. How is it going? I'm Peter. Are you a new student?
Yep, I just arrived yesterday.
Really? That's great. Welcome.
Where is a canteen? Can you show me?
Of course. Sure.
All right, now I've got some key questions here and I'm hoping that everyone in the class will respond. So who is John talking to? Now we know that John's talking to Peter, but is Peter a teacher or a student?
Teacher?
Maybe.
We could guess.
Maybe teacher,
Yeah,
maybe he's a student too, another student.
Okay, so it's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah.
Either or. All right, no worries. All right, let's go with the next one. Should he use formal or informal language? This is the first time they meet.
I think if a teacher, maybe it should be informal, because be polite to teacher is good for students. And if like classmates, we are the same age, I think it could be informal because it's like relaxed and just short chat. Yeah.
Okay, now what if Peter talks like this? Oh, hello, my name is Peter, and it's rather nice to see you today. I'm very, very happy to meet you, Ruby. It's such lovely to see you, and it's what a wonderful day it is today. What if Peter spoke like that?
I think maybe it's teacher is a kind and outgoing teacher.
Do you think that John should use formal or informal language with Peter if he spoke like that? And even if Peter is a student?
Formal.
Formal, because of the way that Peter spoke?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a strategy here. Listening to the other person of how they communicate and matching their communication style to what you say. It's a good strategy. All right, what about, I'm going to flick to this one. Number 3, what level of formality or informality is acceptable? So if Peter is a teacher and we use formal language, do we go right up to the top as though we are talking to the Queen, or do we just use everyday business type polite language?
Everyday business. Everyday business. Yes, enough.
iPhone's got it. Now we don't go all the way up to, oh, Your Highness, it is an honor to be with you, Your Honor. Something like that, as though you were talking to the Queen. That's a bit too formal, maybe. So there are different levels of formality. Okay, so that's all good. Now moving on. What about body language? So what body language is appropriate?
If it's between students, it's appropriate and it's more connecting us more closely.
Using hand gestures are okay between students? Hey,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
right. But this is the first time they meet. Now, what if Peter doesn't use any hand gestures when he's talking?
The John and we do not feel either.
Yeah, because if, let's say, Peter's not using any body language, any, or should I say hand gestures, not like the Colombians may, or those from Brazil, for example. Oh yeah, you know, not like that. But you know, just straight down, no arms moving. Then obviously John has to match his body language to Peter's, so he doesn't feel uncomfortable. Otherwise, if John's like, hey, yeah, it's great to see you, then Peter might feel a bit strange and think John is a little bit.
Yeah.
You may be more enthusiastic.
He might think that John is a bit. Oh, you can't see my cup. Bit empty. Yeah, bit empty up the top there, maybe. Yes, there are many expressions to give of someone who's a bit empty at the top. There's a good idiom is the light is on, but no one's home. All right, moving on. Sorry, let's just keep going, shall we? All right. So, here we go. Here's a key question. Now, what language makes the conversation very casual? Have a look at the conversation here. We have morning. I don't think we've met before. I'm John. Hey, John, how's it going? I'm Peter. Are you a new student? Yep, I just arrived yesterday, blah, blah, blah. What expressions or words are used here that makes this conversation really casual? Does anyone have any ideas?
Going?
Sorry?
How's it going?
How's it going? Yes. Any others?
Yep.
Oh, bingo. Yep. One more.
Hey John.
Bingo again. Goodness me. 5 points. All right. By the end of the night, you will get the keys to the Ferrari. You'll be the winner.
Yeah, thank you. Wait, yay.
Just got to find the keys. Where did I put them? All right, let me give the answers. There we go. Hey, John, how's it going? And yep, there we go. Now we could change this language. So we could, hang on, let's just go back to that. We could change the language. So, oh, hello, John. How are you today?
Yeah.
And yes, rather than yep, you know. All right, so the other question I have here is, what is the problem with this conversation? Is there a problem with it? This is going to give everyone, if you get it right, I'll give you 20 points. Anyone? There is a problem with this conversation. It's up for grabs. Anyone?
Problem?
Yep. There's a conversation problem. In fact, Peter might feel a little bit strange because of this.
How's it going?
Anyone?
The change of the topic. Where is the canteen, I think.
Oh, bingo. You are certainly driving away in that Ferrari tonight. Absolutely.
Yay.
Goodness me, there it is. So Peter says, really, that's great. So positive response, and then welcome with the exclamation mark, which shows that he emphasized that word. And then John jumps in and says, where's a canteen? You know, where's a canteen? And even where is a canteen? So you know that he didn't even say the word the. Where's the canteen? So, so we can imagine he said it very quickly. And can you show me? It's quite a contrast between Peter saying a positive, and John should have said, oh, thank you very much, but he didn't. He just jumped in with that question, like, you tell me where it is, show me now. And Peter would feel quite odd that John is so demanding straight after he just gave a positive welcome to him. And I think John was thinking more about what he wanted, his goals, rather than building that rapport with Peter first. So a nice balance is very important there. All right, so that is the problem with the conversation. John should have responded with, oh, thank you very much. Oh, by the way, could you tell me, with a polite question, could you tell me where the canteen is? Make it grammatically correct as well. Yeah. And would you be able to show me? And a polite expression, because he's asking Peter to go out of his way. Peter might be going this way and the canteen is that way. So those polite expressions are extremely important, especially for a first introduction as well, because yeah, that's it. All right, so moving on. Now, how can we change this conversation if Peter is a senior teacher? Let's try this in real time, shall we? I'll be John. And Kathy, since you're driving away in the red Ferrari tonight, perhaps you could be Peter, the teacher, and change the wording to what Peter, the senior teacher, might say. Are you ready?
Pardon, I was not quite listening.
I have to say it again. All right, here we go. Take two. Now, Kathy, you are Peter, the senior teacher.
Okay.
And you have to change what is written here in your mind about what Peter, the senior teacher, might say. Something obviously more polite, maybe, in response to what John says. So John says, morning, I don't think we've met before. I'm John.
Hello, John. How are you? I'm Peter. Are you a new student?
Yep. Or maybe I should change it to, oh, yes. I've just arrived yesterday.
Oh, nice to hear that. Welcome. Do you need, if you need any help, just ask me. I'll be around.
Oh, actually, I do. I was wondering if you could tell me where the canteen is. I'm quite hungry.
Oh, it's downstairs, level 1, and then in the corner, and you'll see the canteen, the word canteen, and you can see it. If you want me to, if you like, do you want to join me for lunch? And I will show you there.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Kathy. Oh, sorry,
right.
Peter.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Now, Kathy was pretty good. She watched my facial expressions and I gave her that dopey puppy dog look like her. And then she responded appropriately in offering to show me where it is, which is great. All right, very good. Okay, let's move on. So face-to-face conversations. I've got some questions here, I think. So here we go. What word is used to initiate small talk? In this conversation, we've got, so John, where are you from? I'm from Brazil. How about you, Peter? Oh, please call me Pete. I'm from Mexico. Wow, really? And how long have you been here? Well, I've been at this school for a year, but I've been in Australia for 3 years. Interesting. So, are you married or divorced?
Problem. That's a problem.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Okay, let's deal with question number 1 first. Now, what word is used to initiate the small talk here in this conversation?
Where you come from?
Really? That's the question. We just look for one word.
One word.
Key word. You've got to use this word all the time. There it is there. So.
So.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That's a magic word, so. It's kind of like, hey, everyone, I'm going to break the conversation. I'm going to change the topic. So that's it. That's the key word. Okay, next question is, what are some safe topics to talk about?
Mary. In a word.
No.
Safe topics.
Okay.
Safe topic is weather.
The
Where
weather.
you come from? Yeah.
Yep.
Where are
What
you from?
hobby?
Hobbies, yes.
Yeah, that's the safe topic. What do you delicious food?
Yeah, okay. So what
About the
food do you like?
Yeah, what food do you like it? That's a
Yep.
safe. You can't ask, are you married or divorced? No, that's very private.
Why not? I ask that all the time.
No, but in Australian, I never heard people first time they meet you or they not very familiar with you, they ask this question.
That's true.
It's
That is
not-
absolutely true. It's
Not very polite, yeah.
it's very, very rude, isn't it?
Yeah, very rude. Yeah, I think so, yes.
So up there in the top corner, I have, you know, some safe topics such as school, studies, interest, weather, places to visit, food that you mentioned before.
Yeah, or COVID-19, you can talk in. That's no problem. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, moving on.
Mm.
This question here, where is that? So what are some of the positive reactions?
So positive.
Now, these positive reactions are not common usually in your own language. Maybe for the Asian students, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, whatever. It's not usual to have these types of responses in your own language. It's just something that is taught as an extra in English. Does anyone know some positive reactions that are in this conversation? Some words they used?
Please call me Pete.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, interesting, like that.
Interesting is a good one. Any others? Wow. Did anyone say wow?
Yeah, I said well.
Aha. Okay, so let me just throw those in there. So wow, really?
Oh.
And it's
Really?
about,
Yeah.
it's your intonation as well. So it's like, wow, really? Or wow,
Surprise.
really?
Yeah.
Really? So if your intonation goes
Actually-
down, it means that you don't believe the person. And if it goes
Yeah.
up, it's like, wow, I'm really interested in what you say. So you have to be careful with your intonation as well. So if you're feeling, I don't know, a little bit sad that day, be very careful of your intonation. And really?
Actually, we
Wow.
will have this in Chinese too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Like common communication with friends or classmates. Yeah, with like normal talk, we have like this positive.
Oh,
reaction.
excellent. I had no idea.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. How many topics are covered in this conversation?
3 topics.
iPhone says 3. Okay, what have we got? Where are you from? Brazil?
Where are you from? And how long have you been here?
Yep.
And after you ask a very funny question, are you married or divorced?
All right, there we go. So we've got 3. That's perfect. Thank you. And moving on to the next one here. So how is the subject changed? Is there a strategy used to change the subject? This is a tricky question, everyone. Does anyone have any ideas of the strategy used for changing the
Linking
subject?
words.
Linking.
Linking words. like an essay.
Maybe. Because, okay, for example, we've got talking about where you're from here, and then we've got how long have you been here? That's completely different. How do we change from place to the length of time of being
They
here?
use a conjunction and. I think and how long?
And?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, and
is you know, the lead on to a follow-up question. Yeah.
Conjunction. Yeah.
Conjunction. Yeah.
Oh, now you're getting too technical for me. All right, so let's throw in something here. How about this? A positive reaction and then a new topic as a question.
Oh yeah.
So I'm from Mexico. Wow, really? Positive reaction. And the new topic. And how long have you been here? Okay, there's the new topic as a question. There we go. That's a good strategy. That looks good. Okay, now iPhone, this is your topic here. Are there any inappropriate questions you have already identified? Yes, there is.
What's the question? Are there any
Inappropriate questions? You mentioned this before.
Yeah,
marry and divorce.
Yeah, very supposed to, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. That is very inappropriate. Or there's other questions like, are you single? Are you seeing anyone? Or, you know, all of
Your
those.
age?
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's your age? You know,
Yeah.
can I have your phone number?
yeah.
Something like that. And all of these are inappropriate because, you know, not only has the person just met, but it's personal information. And even the way that the question is asked is not even polite. It's like, so, you know, and then jump into it. It's not even something like, oh, may I ask you a polite question? Sorry, a personal question. And give the person an opportunity to say yes or no. That's why we ask that, and that's why it's considered a polite question. And saying, would you mind if I ask you a personal question? And then that also gives the person an opportunity to say yes or no, or it could even to stipulate a condition and say yes, but if it's too personal, I'm not going to answer it. And you can respond like that too with a condition. So don't be afraid to set conditions to the type of information you give as well. Usually when students study English, they have an idea that if someone asks a question, they have to respond to that question. Right? It usually happens in English classes. Question, answer, and you're like, and if that question is not something that you want to answer, that a lot of the time you're not prepared with the language, you know, to say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't answer that. It's too personal. That's none of your business, you know. Back off. Stop asking me personal questions. You need to develop the language to use, and there's lots of websites on the internet that give polite expressions, and I can certainly share some resources with you so that you build up this language and then you know what to say in certain situations. Okay, moving on. Okay, this one here now. Is it okay to use any of these responses in casual conversations? I like that. Excuse me. I get the eye roll a lot. The eye roll, like, crazy Richard. Roll my eyes. Yeah. Or that one there, that come on. Or are you for real? Are these okay? Does everyone use these like it's everyday okay?
Maybe between friends or like sometimes argue or like discourse. Yeah.
Okay, so you really need to know how the person might respond so that you don't upset them. So yeah, between friends, so you know what their communication style is, so that
yeah, they have body language.
Yeah, that's right. And Ruby, would you use any of these with your friends?
Yeah, maybe sometimes I'm like really active about some topics we talk about. Yeah, maybe I will like agree or disagree with with my friends and we argue or just discuss for free. Yeah, yeah,
Do we have any eye rollers in here? Anyone who rolls their eyes on a frequent basis? Anyone here who likes to communicate by rolling your eyes? Like, oh, why am I listening to you? Anyone here? Just Ruby?
Sometimes.
Kathy, right, we know.
Me.
How do you know?
Well, we know now. It's out there. This is being recorded. Everyone knows. Come on, this is truth time, everyone. Come forward.
When I come across some unreasonable things, I will do this.
Roll the eyes, yes. I'll
Some
remember that,
incredible
Joyce.
things.
I'll remember it. It's up to you now.
I will never eye rolling to you.
Well, I can't see that because I can't see your lovely smile, but
I don't have your such a beautiful background.
next time. Okay. Anyone else? Do we have any eye rollers in here? Eric, are you an eye roller? He's still eating dinner. He's got his mouth full of
No, I'm here.
ketchup. Do you roll your eyes, Eric?
No.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I don't believe that.
Are you for real?
Are you for real?
Maybe Eric's eyes are just fixed in the one direction. Maybe they're just...
Yeah, I'm a clam.
All right, so we're going to move on. Now, how would you respond positively to... Now, Eric, you're going to respond to this question here for me since you're the last person to speak. Here we go. Are you single or married? You have to respond positively to this. Now, you don't have to give the answer. If you choose not to give your personal information, you have to say it politely, like, I don't know, I forget, but I'm sure you'll come up with something. Eric?
Yeah, I will think
Eric doesn't know. Well, I did go out last night. I'm not sure if I was actually married or not. If you feel
I'm single, yeah.
All right, so yeah, well, it's a good response. Everyone, ladies, Eric is single. All right.
Honest.
It's out there now.
Ruby?
If you feel uncomfortable in answering any of these questions, you can say things like, I'm sorry, that's too personal. I'm sorry, I don't want to respond. Could you ask another question? Something like that, you know, it's just show that, you know, to express that you think that question is a bit too personal. All right, moving on. iPhone, since this has your name partially in the question, can I have your phone number, iPhone?
Oh, okay. I can give you my phone number.
Really?
Yeah. If you are a teacher, why not? Yeah.
Actually, unless I don't think it's appropriate giving your phone number to the teacher. I think it's WeChat that you should
WeChat.
give
No,
your
sorry.
ID, but not your personal phone number, unless you are going on an excursion and they need to contact you to make sure that you're there. But I think really it's WeChat. So
yeah,
yeah, that's a tricky one. That one there. All right, let's throw one at Ruby, shall we? Have you ever been in trouble with the police?
Actually not, but I think if response possible, Possibly, maybe I would say, sorry, it is privacy for me, for myself. So it's not really good to get the answer.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. It's not a good question to ask. It's personal. It doesn't
Yeah.
mean that I'm saying yes or no. It just means that I don't want to answer this personal question.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. So let's go to this one here. Do you well, sorry, hang on. What do you dislike about your teacher, Kathy?
I think my teacher is perfect.
Dislike. Oh, sorry, you're giving the diplomatic response. Diplomatic
I don't know.
response. I think all my teachers are perfect, you know.
Yeah.
That's the most diplomatic response. Very good. Oh, this one here. Tian, are you there? Tian? Yeah, she's eating. She's gone off, and make sure don't overcook the noodles, Tian.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
sorry.
but I didn't notice. I mute myself.
All right, just you've got the last question here. Do you have $10 that you can lend me?
Do you want me to lend to you?
Yeah, okay. If you got $10, $10. Does everyone say bucks or dollars? Anyway,
Actually, I say bucks. If
bucks.
it is a
Okay,
small
so
amount.
$10, $10, or a tenner. Have you got a tenner that you can lend me?
I think so.
So that's a maybe.
Maybe that is a maybe.
All right, now lending not necessarily means paying back. Is that okay with you? So it means that you can lend it to me, but I'm not very good at paying back. Is that okay?
If it is only $10, it is okay.
Well, that means that Tian is loaded, everyone. She is loaded because she doesn't mind giving away $10 and not getting it back. She's got the money. All right, moving on. Okay, everyone.
Maybe, or you can say. Yeah, maybe you can say. Sorry, just.
Sorry. All right.
Keep going.
Completely sorry. All right, have a look at this website here. I found it the other day, and it does have a list of conversations. I think there's about 1,500 conversations on there. They have the dialogue as well as a recording that you can listen to for different situations. So if anyone's interested in improving their English and listening to some dialogues and whatnot, this is a great website. So check that out. Okay, now we have basically gone through 2 hours, and I still have at least another 5 hours of teaching to go. Is everyone happy to continue on? There's no response. I don't know why.
I think you'll be tired. And I have almost like 6 hours have class today.
Okay, no worries. Well, we should stop then because yeah, I think everyone else has fallen asleep. We have at least 5 people here who talk, and then the rest of everyone is probably got their phone and recording this and eating dinner or something or studying. So how about we finish up here, and I'll see you. Is it next Saturday? Next Saturday we're on again?
Yes, next Saturday, but next Saturday we have another topic.
Yep, but anyway,
Maybe you can finish this first and then move on to the next topic.
Either way, I mean, the rest of this information here is about time management. That's quite dry. And the other one is critical thinking, and that's another dry topic. I think the main topic for today is the introductions and building a connection with people that are obviously not the same culture, Western people. I think that's the key thing, because you can read up the other information, but this kind of back and forth has been extremely important to get through, especially the different cultural aspects of introductions and small talk and all the other bits and pieces that went along with that. So if everyone's happy, I'm happy to conclude here, and I'll see you next week. The next topic will be about creating presentations, so creating the PowerPoints and making it look good. And I go through some of the designs to watch out for. I've taught quite a number of students in giving presentations, and I've got some examples and stuff, and I go through quite a bit of information about that, but it will be as interactive as this as much as possible. And then following that, I have another workshop about actually delivering the presentation and trying to make your voice sound as confident as it should be, things that different techniques, and also handling questions as well. Everyone's afraid of dealing with questions at the end of presentation, so I've got some strategies of how to handle that in that last workshop. Okay, so back to Joyce. I'll stop sharing here.
Okay. So do you want to do the Q&A part or just end up here?
I'm happy to answer any questions. If anyone has any questions, please go ahead. Joyce, you might have to crack the whip.
Okay, does anyone have a question? All of you are free to raise questions.
What's the topic for next Saturday? Sorry.
The topic is creating presentations. So looking at PowerPoint design and the content and developing your topic and the structure of a presentation, looking at the language as well.
Okay.
And then the workshop after that is delivering a presentation and looking at how to deliver with the language, and also dealing with questions at the end of a presentation, some strategies as well.
Hello, I want to ask, what if I have trouble concentrating when I am studying?
I actually have that same problem myself. Now, is it because the topic is so beyond you that you don't understand it? Or do you have better things to do, such as playing video games or something like that? Because if it's the topic, and the topic is a very heavy topic, in the sense that there's lots of reading to get through and it doesn't really make sense and stuff like that, it's easier if you break up the information and handle everything in small parts. You have to scaffold your own knowledge, so build up your knowledge. And if you find that you get to a point where things don't make much sense, you have to go back to a place where things do make sense. One thing I like to do, and that is, as I'm studying, I like to have a mind map about the subject, and I draw this on a piece of paper, and I start with the basic points of the topic, and then I branch out so I can see the relationships between the core aspects of the topic to what it connects to. And that helps to keep things in my mind about the big picture. I'm a big picture learner, and if I see how things connect first, it just makes learning for me a lot easier. But it's more about tapping into knowing what your learning style is. If you find that, so for example, I don't particularly like reading a lot of information, And when I read, I tend to read it and forget basically everything that I've just read. So if I get an electronic version of something and I have it playing in audio and I'm reading along, it tends to stick in my mind a lot longer than if I just read it on its own. So by using like a two method type of input or learning styles, I'm able to keep that information. So it's more about identifying how you learn the best way. And if you are the type that need pictures, then try and find some pictures that help you understand what you're studying. Does that help?
You means you always use the picture to help you remember something?
Something like that, yes. I'm a visual learner, and if I can't find a picture that explains what the topic is, then I'll try and draw it myself with a mind map, where I start with the basic the basic topic, and then I branch out to all the different things that relate to it that I'm continuing to study, so I can see an overall picture of how it all connects.
And I have a question. For me, because we come from China, how I can improve quickly for my reading? For example, sometimes I'm reading the essay or some article. I feel difficult for many words if I don't know. So can you give me the way how I can improve? Every words I have to check the internet or dictionary if I don't know these words.
There is no easy way, but the more you read, the more vocabulary that you will gain. So it's more about underlining those words in the article that you're reading, so you can go back and refer, check the dictionary. But I would check on the internet, or if you've got an electronic dictionary, check that, so that you can get the pronunciation of that, and you can say the word back to yourself.
I know.
And
I know.
Do that. But I would also keep a diary or a journal of all of these new words that you're learning, so that you can reflect on it and try and use these words in your essays or in your conversation, so that you can keep them concrete in your mind.
Yeah.
But there is no easy way about it. It's just the hard work that you've got to put
It's hard, but we can easy now. Some students, because I'm in Melbourne. I study English in the GBCA. I find some students they find a translator. They have this how to say software. They even translate in Chinese, but I don't like this way. I want to check every word, and I must know the English how to say the English for these words, the meaning, for Chinese.
That's the best way to learn, because when you are in a situation that you may not have a translator, your phone may not have internet connection at that time, you will be stuck for words, and people will question you and say, "Oh, but you've been studying English for 6 years. How come you can't speak and respond in this situation?" And so basically what you're helping yourself with the survival skills that you need for the future as well.
Thank you.
That's a good thing.
Sometimes we don't be lazy. I just translate the Chinese. We understand, but I think this is not good for our studying English.
I think it's at the beginning when you're learning the language, a translator helps to get the context and make that connection. But there is a point that every student gets to where they need to put the translator away. Because when they read the dictionary, they can still understand the context. If you're at that point where you can understand some of the basic ideas, then that's the time when you need to put the translator away, unless the words are very complex and they're not in your everyday use.
Thank you so much. I got it. Thank you.
All good. Anyone with a question, you're quite welcome to ask any question.
Any other questions?
Richard, hello. I want
Hey.
to ask, can we get the power plant? Get
Oh,
this power
yeah.
plant?
Absolutely, yeah. I'm selling it for $10.
Yeah, I want to know the
I'm
account
joking.
management. Germany's
I'm-
really serious.
It's all good. Don't worry. Yeah. And if you need a script that matches this, I'm quite happy to create a script as well, especially for the information that I haven't gone through, such as the time management side and the critical thinking side. I'm quite happy to write a script of what I would have said as well. You'll just have to wait until after tomorrow for that. But I'm quite happy to write that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm quite happy to answer anything.
Any other questions? Okay,
All right.
thank you, listener.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next
Thanks a
week.
lot.
See you next weekend.
All
See
good.
you.
Thank you. See you, everyone. Have a
Thank
great night.
you. Thank you. See you, Richard.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.